Okay, so good morning, everybody. So today we are going to continue from Act 1, Scene 2 of Julius Caesar. In the last class, we have done up to line 131. So we'll continue from there. You can check the PDF, Act 1, Scene 2, line 131 of Act 1, Scene 2. Okay? So here, I'll start just a bit before. So here we have Cassius speaking. Cassius is one of the noblemen of Rome, and he's pointing out the weaknesses of Caesar, right? So he says, "Ye gods, it doth amaze me, a man of such a feeble temper should get the start of the majestic world and bear the palm alone." Right? So it amazes him, says Cassius, it amazes him that a man of such a feeble temper, a man, who does this word man refer to? It refers to Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar apparently is a man of feeble temper. That is, he is a weak person. And Cassius has given many examples, 2 or 3 examples of how weak Julius Caesar in reality is. So he gives an example of how they had challenged each other to swim across the Tiber, and Caesar was drowning, and Cassius had to dive back in and save Caesar from drowning. And then he also gives the example of how Julius Caesar is given to the falling sickness. Falling sickness means epilepsy. So all these examples serve to show that Julius Caesar is in reality no demigod. Demigod is a sort of minor god. He is not demigod, but he is a mortal, and in fact he is a weak mortal according to Cassius. So how can such a person bear the palm alone? The palm is a sign of victory. So Julius Caesar is now the mightiest of the mighty in Rome. He is the greatest Roman general, and he is about to be crowned emperor of Rome. So now Brutus continues, line 132, another general shout. So I do believe that these applauses are for some new honors that are heaped on Caesar. So what's going on in the background? The games are being held, the victory games, right? The victory games to celebrate the triumph of Caesar over the sons of Pompey. And so the multitude, that is the many, the people are cheering Caesar. So there's another general shout heard in the distance. And Brutus says, these applauses of the people are for some new honors that are heaped on Caesar. Right? So Cassius, why man? He doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus, and we petty men walk under his huge legs, and peep about to find ourselves dishonorable graves. Right? So, according to Cassius, Caesar is like a colossus. The statue of Colossus, it was placed at the harbor of one of the ancient cities, right? One leg was on this side of the harbor and the other leg was on the other side. And ships used to pass under the legs of the Colossus. Even today, the word, the name Colossus, the name of that statue, has given birth to the word colossal. Colossal means huge. So Caesar is like a colossus, and we petty men, that is, people like Brutus and Cassius, walk under his huge legs and peep about. They peep about, they look like this, like that, from behind the legs to find themselves dishonorable ways. So they'll assume, they'll come to the end of their life and they'll go to the grave, but their lives have been dishonorable. Whereas Caesar, who has achieved so much, so many campaigns he's undertaken, so many armies he has led, So he has had a honorable life, but others, compared to Caesar, will find dishonorable graves. Men at some times are masters of their fates. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings, right? So, people try so hard to achieve whatever they want, but many times, often, what they find is, so, he says, men, so, they try so hard to achieve whatever they want. But because of their faith, what is written, they often do not, they may not, right? So, sometimes, says Cassius, men are masters of their faiths, right? He continues, a fault is not in our stars but in ourselves. So, people often attribute their failures to what is written in the stars. They say it was foretold, or it was meant to be that I should come to this state. But here Cassius is setting that point of view right. The fault is not written in the stars, but it's written in ourselves. It is written in our own natures. So we have not evaluated what we are capable of. Now what he's doing here is, he's trying to persuade Brutus to undertake some task. The task is to assassinate Caesar. So, because Caesar is a weak person, because Caesar is, not fit to be the emperor, according to Cassius, he should be assassinated. So, he's leading up to that idea. So, he says, all these things, okay, we are, the fault is in ourselves, that we are underlings. Underlings means we are subordinates. Caesar is the leader and we are his underlings. The fault does not lie in something between the stars, it lies in ourselves. It is in our hands to set our fates right. It is in our hands to take control of our life. Right? So, Brutus and Caesar. What should be in that Caesar? Brutus, the name Brutus and the name Caesar. What should be in that name Caesar? Why should that name be sounded more than yours? Why should the name of Caesar be spoken about by the many, while only a few people speak your name, Brutus? Right? Why should Caesar be so popular? Why should Caesar be, more well known than you? Write them together, yours is the spare. If you write them, if you take a pen and you write Brutus, Brutus, and you write Caesar, Caesar, then both are as fair as each other. Yours is a spare name. Sound them, pronounce them. It does become the mouth as well. So it suits the mouth, each suits the mouth as well as the other. Weigh them, it is as heavy. Heavy means Caesar has got a lot of weight in him, but Brutus is equally weighty. Brutus is equally, serious and well-meaning for the good of Rome. Right? Conjure with them, Brutus will start spirit as soon as Caesar. So if anyone says Caesar, right, then people will immediately become alert. But equally alert, they'll be equally alert if someone says the name of Brutus. Right? Conjure with them. Brutus, the name Brutus will start spirit as soon as Caesar. Now, in the names of all the gods at once, upon what meat does they see our Caesar feed? So, in the name of all the gods, in the name of all the gods in the Roman pantheon, what does this Caesar eat? What does he feed on? That he is grown so great. Right? Age, thou art shamed, Rome, thou hast lost the breed of noble bloods. So, the age, age that is going on in Rome is shame. Because Rome, according to Cassius, has lost the spirit of noble people, nobility. After all, remember that when you say society, when you say a country is great, it doesn't mean that all the people are great. It means only a few people are great. Only a few people are able to lead the masses. So, the Rome at that time, according to Cassius, has lost the spirit of nobility. The number of noblemen, the nobility in Rome has declined, right? So the age of Rome, the empire of Rome, the age of the empire of Rome is in a decline, according to Cassius, right? When went there by an age since the great flood, but it was filled with more than with one man, right? When went there by an age since the great flood? Since the time of the great flood. The great flood is spoken of in the Bible. It's a biblical story. How God made it rain on earth for 40 days and 40 nights, till the whole world was inundated, till the whole world was submerged. Since that time, in all the ages since that time, when has there been just one man, like there is today in Rome? Like there's only one man in Rome today in Rome, says Cassius, and that is Caesar. When could they say, till now, that talked of Rome, that her wide walls encompassed but one man? So the wide walls, that is the periphery, the perimeter of Rome, the whole empire, in fact. When could it be said? Since the time whenever people talk of Rome, that the empire contained but one man, right? That now is it Rome indeed and room enough when there is in it but only one man. So now there's plenty of room because there's only one man, and that man is Caesar. Oh, you and I have heard our fathers say there was a Brutus once that would have brooked the eternal devil to keep his state in Rome as easily as a king. So, once upon a time, there was a Brutus. Brutus means the father, ancestors of Marcus Brutus. The ancestors of Marcus Brutus fought for the cause of Rome. They would have withstood the devil to stop, entering the empire, right? So Brutus says, that you do love me, I am nothing jealous. So because the fact that you like me, I am not jealous of that fact. What you would work me to, I have some aim. What you are trying to persuade me to do, I have some idea, I have some aim. How I have thought of this and of these times I shall become hereafter. How I shall have thought of this. This means the present situation in Rome, when there is only one great man. How I have thought of this and of these times, I shall recount hereafter. I shall tell you soon. For this present I would not. So with love I might entreat you to be any further moved. So at this present moment, I will not tell you the details of what my ideas are about Rome right now. Right? So, with love, with respect, I ask you not to persuade me any further. What you have said, I will consider. What you have to say, I will with patience hear. What you have said so far, I will turn it over in my mind. What you will have to say, I will with patience hear, and find a time both meet to hear and answer such high things. And I will make time for you, which is both meet. Meet means suitable. Both suitable and both suitable to hear and answer such high things. So, what they're talking of is the deposition of a great general, removing one of the leaders. Such high things. I'll find a time which is suitable to both listen to you and discuss this with you soon. Right? Till then, my noble friend, chew upon this. chew upon this, turn this over in your mind. What is that? Brutus had rather be a villager than to repute himself a son of Rome. I'd rather live in a village, I'd rather be a country bumpkin than be considered a son of Rome under these hard conditions as this time is like to lay upon. So the conditions that the time we're going through, the conditions which the time is likely to lay upon us, I'd rather be a villager than bear this ignominy. Right? Yes. I am glad that my weak words have struck but this much show of fire. I am glad that you have at least been enthused to so much, to such a reaction as this. Right? So Brutus says, the games are done. The games are over, and Caesar is returning. As they pass by, says Cassius, pluck Casca by the sleeve, and he will, after his sour fashion, tell you what hath proceeded worthy no play. So Cassius says, as the train of Caesar, as the procession of Caesar, Caesar, the emperor, the great general, is always followed by somebody or the other. He will never walk alone. So as the procession, as the train of Caesar passes you, says Cassius, pluck Casca by the sleeve, pluck him by the sleeve, and he will, after his sour fashion, in his bitter way, he'll tell you what has proceeded in that stadium which is of note, which is noteworthy today. Re-enter Caesar and his train. Brutus, I will do so. But look you, Cassius, the angry spot doth glow on Caesar's brow, and all the rest look like a chidden train. Calphurnia's cheek is pale, and Cicero looks with such ferret and such fiery eyes as we have seen him in the Capitol, being crossed in conference by some senators. So, Brutus says to Cassius, note Cassius, look at the train of Caesar, look at the people following Caesar, right? On Caesar's brow means on his cheeks and on his foreheads, that glow the angry spot. Caesar has become red with anger for some reason or the other. Calphurnia, that is Caesar's wife, is pale, as though she's afraid of what to do or say in front of her husband, the great general Caesar. And Cicero, one of the orators of Rome, Cicero looks with such ferret and such fiery eyes. Ferret means it's an animal, it's a burrowing animal. It always lives in the undergrowth. So its eyes are always darting about here and there, like this, see? Like this. It moves about like this. And Cicero's eyes are like ferrets, like a ferret's. And his eyes are fiery. And he looks like the time when he has been crossed in conference by some capitals, by some senators in the Capitol, when somebody is arguing with him in the Capitol, when he's trying to put forward a point in the Capitol, in the Parliament, and some senators have crossed him, then he becomes, angry. He looks like that now. Cassius. Casca will tell us what the matter is. Caesar. Antonius. Antony. Caesar. Let me have men about me that are fat, sleek-headed men, and such as sleep of nights. Beyond Cassius has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous. Right? So Caesar says to Antony, let me have people around me who eat well, who don't grudge their food. Right? Let me have men about me that are fat. Let me have men about me that are, that eat well, sleek-headed men. Let their hair be well oiled, and such as sleep of nights, right? Such people as sleep during the nights, right? Because they don't think too much. They eat well and they sleep well because they don't think too much. Beyond Cassius, so now Caesar observed Cassius. Beyond Cassius, Cassius over there has a lean and hungry look. Like Cassius looks like a wolf. He thinks too much, right? So Cassius is a person who, is doing thinking about something or the other. Such men are dangerous. You never know what their thoughts, when they are by themselves, what their thoughts will lead them to, right? Antony says, fear him not, Caesar, He's not dangerous. He's a noble Roman and well given. So Antony tries to calm Caesar down. Fear him not, Caesar. He's not dangerous. He's a noble Roman and well given. He's well disposed towards you. Okay, Caesar. Would he were fatter. I would he were much more plump. But I fear him not. Yet, if my name were liable for fear, I do not know the man I should avoid so soon as I spare Cassius. Right? So he says, if my name were given to fear, I don't know who I should fear as that spare Cassius. Spare means thin, right? Thoughtful Cassius. He reads much. He is a great observer and he looks quite through the deeds of men. So he reads a lot, right? And he's a great observer of men. He knows what people are like, right? He looks quite through the deeds of men. See, men, when they do something wrong, they often put on an innocent air, right? So Cassius, Cassius is a person who sees through that superficiality, right? He looks quite through the deeds of men. He loves no place, as thou dost, Antony. So Caesar says, you, Antony, you love to watch plays and dramas. You like music, but he is not such a person, right? His mind is given to much, turning things over in his mind. So he loves no plays as thou dost, Antony. He hears no music, right? Seldom he smiles, and smiles in such a sort as if he mocked himself. So he hardly ever smiles. So he's not a happy man, right? So what is on his mind? What can he be thinking of, right? Seldom he smiles. He hardly ever smiles, and smiles in such a sort as if he mocked himself. So whenever he smiles, it is as though he is mocking himself for his lot in life, or his situation in life, things like that. And scorned his spirit that could be moved to smile at anything. So Cassius is quite cynical according to Caesar. Cynical means that you don't think much of people, you don't think much of the world, right? So Cassius is quite cynical according to Caesar. So if you find something wrong with someone or something in life, you try to set it right. So Cassius maybe tried to set something right, and that's something which he's trying to set us right, maybe us, according to Caesar. Such men as he be never at heart ease. Such men like Cassius are never at ease in their hearts. They're never quite relaxed. They're never quite comfortable. They're never at heart's ease, whilst they behold the greater than themselves. So when they see someone who's greater than themselves, they're never at ease. And therefore are they very dangerous. Right? I'd rather tell thee what is to be feared than what I fear. So Caesar says, I'm telling you, Antony, what is to be feared, not what I fear. For always I am Caesar. Always I am Caesar. Come on my right hand, for this ear is deaf. And tell truly what thou thinkest of. Right? So, so come to my right hand, come on my right side, for this ear is deaf. And tell me what you truly think of. Senate exeunt Caesar and his train. Okay? Casca stays behind. So now we're on line almost 2:15, line 2:15 of Act 1, Scene 2. So we'll stop there for today. Right? Okay, thank you.